Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jai.
Now the sadhana bhakti or practice of devotional service may also be divided into two parts. The first part is for service according to the regulative principles. One has to follow these different regulative principles by the order of spiritual master or on the strength of authoritative scriptures, and there can be no question of refusal. That is called Vedic or regulative. One has to do it without argument. Another part of the sadhana bhakti is for Ramana. Ramana refers to the point at which, by following the regulative principles, one becomes a little more attached to Krishna and executes devotional service out of Krishna love. For example, a person engaged in devotional service may be ordered to rise early in the morning and offer arti, which is form of deity worship. In the beginning, by the order of the spiritual master, one rises in early in the morning and offer, but then he develops their attachment. When he gets this attachment, he automatically tries to decorate the deity and prepare different kinds of places and things of different plans to execute his devotional service nicely. Although it is within the category of practice, this offering of loving service is spontaneous. So the practice of the devotional service, sadhana bhakti, can be divided into two parts, namely regulative and spontaneous. Rupa Goswami defines the first part of devotional practice or Vedic bhakti as follows. When there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service to the Lord, and one is engaged in the service of the Lord simply out of obedience to the order of his spiritual master or in pursuance of the scriptures, such obligatory service is called Vedic. Rupa Goswami ki
Jai.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So reading text 26.
धर्मार्थ काम इति यो अभीतास त्रिवर्ग त्रि नैदमो विविधा च वार्ता अन्ये तद् एतद् अखिलं निगमस्य सत्यं स्वात्मार्पणं स्वशुद्ध परमस्य पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो भीतः इक्षा त्रयीनया दमो विविधा च वार्ता माने तद् एतद् अखिलं निगमस्य सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वशुद्धं परमस्य पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो भीतस्त्रिवर्ग इक्षा त्रयीनया दमो विविधा च वार्ता मान्ये तद् एतद् अखिलं निगमस्य सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वशुद्ध परमस्य पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो भीतस्त्रिवर्ग इक्षा त्रयीनैदमो विविधा च वार्ता मान्ये तदेतदखिलं निगमस्य सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वशुहृद पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो विहितस्त्रिवर्ग इक्षा त्रयीनया दामो विविधा च वर्ता मान्ये तदेतद् अखिलं निगमस्य सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वशुहृद परमस्य पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो विहितस्त्रिवर्ग इक्षा त्रयीनया दामो विविधो च वर्ता मान्ये तदेतत् निखिलं सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वसुहृद परमस्य पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो भीतस्त्रिवर्गः इक्षा त्रयीनया दमो विविधा च वर्ता मान्ये तदेतदखिलं निगमस्य सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वसुहृदं परमस्य पुंसा धर्मार्थ काम इति यो भीतस्त्रिवर्ग इक्षा त्रैनायदमो विविध च वर्त माने तदेतदखिलं निगमस्य सत्यम् स्वात्मार्पणं स्वसुहृदं परमस्य पुंसा धर्म रिलीजन अर्थ इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट काम regulated sense gratification iti thus यह which अभिधितः prescribed त्रिवर्गः group of three iksha self realization three the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies naya logic damo and the science of the law and order vividha varieties of cha also varta occupational duties or one's livelihood manya I consider tat them etat these akhilam all nigamashya of all the Vedas satyam truth swaatmarpanam the full surrendering of oneself swasuhrada onto the supreme friend paramasya the ultimate pumsa personality jai
religion, human development, and self-gratification. These are described in the Vedas as three varga, or three ways to salvation. Within these three categories are education and self-realization. Ritualistic ceremonies performed according to Vedic injunctions, logic, science of law and order, and the various means of earning one's livelihood. These are the external subjects matter of study in the and therefore I consider them material. However, I consider surrender the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu in the translation. These instructions of Lord Maharaj explain the transcendental position of devotional service. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Mam Chayo Navicharena Bhakti Yogena Shevate Sargunam Savitaya Yetam Brahma Bhuvaya. One who engages in full devotional service would not fall down in any circumstance, at once considering the mode of revelation, and thus comes to the error of knowledge. One who fully engages in the devotional service of the Lord is immediately raised to transcendental position, which is the Brahman Bhuta. Any education or activity not on the Brahma Bhuta platform, the platform of self-realization, is considered to material. And Prahlad Maharaj says that anything material cannot be absolute. What absolute truth is on the spiritual platform. This is also confirmed by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 2.25, where he says, Regune Vishaya Veda Nistarema Bhavajana. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of materialization. Rising above these modes, over we transcend to all of them. To tap on the virtual platform, even if one's activities are sanctioned by the Vedas, is not the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is to stay on the spiritual platform, fully surrendered to the Parama Purusha, the Supreme Person. This is the object of the human history. In summary, the very ritualistic ceremonies and injunctions are not to be discounted. They are meant for bringing knowledge to the spiritual platform. But if one does not come to the spiritual platform, the very ceremonies are simply the waste of time. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.3. Dharma Swarasita Pumsam, Structure Katashuna, not Katirati, Samadhi, duties for Dharma, executed by men, regardless of occupation, are only so much useless thereof if they do not provoke some further basic of the supreme law. If one is very strictly performs the various duties of the religion, and does ultimately come to the platform of surrendering to the Lord, his methods of attaining salvation or elevation are simply a waste of time and energy to God. Let's repeat that. Religion,
Religion,
economic development,
economic development,
and self-gratification.
and sense gratification.
These are described in the Vedas as the word
These are described in the Vedas as three varga,
or three ways of salvation.
or three ways of salvation.
Within these three categories
Within these three categories
are education and self-gratification.
are education and self-realization. Ritualistic ceremonies performed according to the Vedic injunctions.
Logic,
Logic,
the science of law and order,
the science of law and order,
and the various means of earning one's livelihood.
and the various means of earning one's livelihood.
These are the external subject matter
These are the external subject matters
of the study in the Vedas.
of the studies in the Vedas,
And therefore,
and therefore
I consider them material.
consider them material.
However,
However,
I consider surrender to the feet of the Lord.
I consider surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord,
Lord Vishnu to transcend.
Lord Vishnu, to be transcendental.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. So, very interesting topic. 5 years. So, I did 5 years. She's much ideas in explaining, but 5 years, Lama is teaching, and not the devotees, not discussing with the devotees, they're discussing between the demonic students. And they're talking about the highest professional mind. Can you imagine it? So yesterday, I think as I did before, yesterday we were saying, like going through the highest perfection is what Ramana is teaching. Ramana is though, and though he learned everything in the womb, and he's teaching these lessons to his demonic schoolmates who are always envy. We see sometimes when you go to certain party, we see so many here and there people come and sometimes just start saying here and there. But Mahatma is trying to teach them the highest professional state of human being. As Bhagavatam says, Say Pumsam Paradharma, Yato Bhakti Adokshati. The ultimate goal or the highest goal of every living being. It says Say Pumsam, it doesn't categorize about Indian, American, or British or something. It says Say Pumsam, every living, even on the religion as well. Not talking about Hinduism, Muslim, or any other religion. This is about for all living beings. The highest potential is to take several notice before the Lord. And here, basically, it just talks about three varga or three ways of salvation. So we know what the four pusartha, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So Prabhupada explained that dharma, artha, kama is people are more engaged in this three. Dharma, artha, kama. Dharma, artha, kama. What happens is, so they perform dharma. By performing dharma, they get some artha. What the artha means? Artha means some opulence, some money or something like that. And then what they do? They perform dharma for artha. And after getting artha, they do
Kama.
Calm, sense enjoyment. Right? Dharma, artha, kama. And then when they do sense enjoyment, they do, oh, it's good. Let's go back again. Perform some more dharma, more artha, then more kama. It goes on and on and on. These three cycles. That I call three words. And once the person realizes that actually these three stages is going on and again. As a desire to get a bike when I was walking, isn't it? The if I get a bike, I will come early, at least more than early than the walking. And as the desire get fulfilled of getting the bike, wow, how glorious it would be if I could have motorbike, isn't it? Next month, motorbike, okay, motorbike, I can go far. By in the bike, I can just go in my city, but if I get a motorbike, I can go a bit far, isn't it? Desire get fulfilled. Next is what? If I could have a four-wheeler. No problem about the weather. Is it sunny or snow or raining or whatever it is, I can actually go with the car. And then desire goes on. But I could have a plane. I could go around the world, not only in my city or just nearby places. So this desire goes on and on and on and on. When the person understands that, this desire actually is finding me again and again, do something more, something more, something more. And that's never ending. Then he gets frustrated because he becomes frustrated. And then once he is frustrated, he thinks about the fourth verse after. Three verses and then the next one is about salvation or liberation. Then he starts dharma, artha, kama, and then he thinks about moksha. How can I get moksha? And even in moksha, there are varieties, isn't it? And then Kapil Dev in Canto 3, he explains about the categories of Lord's creation. And then he talks about the object can't be immovable objects. And then he goes towards higher, higher, higher. He says people having a multi-legged, then two-legged, and then he says, okay, even in two-legged, the human beings are best because they have developed consciousness higher than. And even in that, he says the people who follows those thermal phenomena or varnas, they are more higher advanced than this. And then it goes more higher. He said even in that code, the Brahmanas are the best. And he said even in Brahmanas, the one who follows the Vedas. And then it goes more. Can you imagine this? It goes more and more step by step. I said anyone who follows the Vedas, that's the best. But higher than those are the ones who spread the Vedas. And then higher is the one who is not spreading only, he also leading the Vedas. And then goes more higher. He said that Bhagavatam. Right. So ultimately, the point comes to the devotional service. Is that Ahituki Apratiyata Yatma Supasiddhati. So the very important point here is to understand what our dharma. Dharma is sometimes very spoken in a vague word or misunderstood. What dharma means? Dharma means identity or swarupa, which can never be changed. I think we got an example earlier with the water. The water has liquidity. Though we can see that the water becomes sometimes ice, right? Or freezes. Why it is? It's only because it has been put into a different condition. Or it becomes hot. Why? Because of some different conditions. So we get more heat, it becomes hot. If you get colder or negative temperatures in the region, it becomes ice. So the natural state of the water is to remain liquid, normal temperature. But because of the different conditions, it becomes either hot or ice. In a similar way, the living being, the real identity of the living being is what? To be the servant of the Lord. But because of these three modes of nature. That's why we are conditioned life, isn't it? We are not conditioned soul. Actually, we are pure soul. But because we came here, we are in the material world, in the prison. It's a controlled or conditioned state of our being. That's why we are going through different stages of water or different stages of the soul, not understanding the real state. And that's why here, Brahma is saying that the high realism or economic development or sense gratification or this dharma or karma, these are not the real position of the human being. We have to go more high. And then Prabhupada quotes a beautiful verses from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. He says, Dharmas sarvasthita pumsam vishwakshara kathastuni nam pati yadi rapi sama evam kevam. So whatever endeavor we make, the advancement we make, even in our society and in our culture, you see, if it says, if it doesn't invoke or doesn't provoke for a message of supreme personality of God or Lord Krishna, it will be a sum of evam or a waste of labor and time and energy and even everything. Then Prabhupada clearly mentions quoting the words, uh, correlating that how taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord is the ultimate goal by which actually we can actually get the ultimate thing. What we get, the Bhagavatam explains, we were discussing the other day as well, like uh, taking all the verse, we can totally explain that every living entity who is performing an activity, that activity somehow or other take him towards religious practices, something. And higher than that, anyone who's performing the religious practices, that should take towards vairagya, towards uh, unattachment, detachment, or sannyas. Sannyas doesn't mean just giving up the life or giving up society and taking different ashram. That is one way. But even in Rasta also, sannyas can be performed or the detachment can be performed. And then it goes more higher. So what? If someone is performing something, that performance or that activity should take him toward the next stage. Next stage of what? Religious practices. And then this is higher. Higher than that is to take him towards detachment. And he doesn't stop there. He says, after getting detachment, you should get attached. To what? He says, to the lotus feet of the Lord. Right. So it's not only about detachment. It's not about coming from something negative to zero. You have to go higher on axis as well. The axis, it says that higher is the go infinity and lower is go to minus infinity. So like our Bhagavatam explains, even CC explains that all others different thing, jnana, karma, thing, these are all Vishaya, these are all just kind of speculation and waste of time. So coming higher than that is becoming neutral to the zero. And then still there's something higher. Is what? Attachment. Attachment to devotional service. Attachment to the Lord. And another verse explains that this attachment, how this attachment can be born. Isn't it? There is Prasangam, the verse it says, yeah, or verse again. So it says that this cycle of birth and death is because of attachment. Attachment to what? Attachment to our bodily consciousness. To me and mine. Amameti. Right? Attachment to this body and the connections is actually the cause of birth and cycle. But he says the same attachment, if we can deviate towards the sadhus, the eva sadhus kruto moksha dvar. So if we can navigate that or divert the attachment from our body conceptions towards the sadhus, or who are devotees, all hearing the Krishna Katha, and that opens up the door for our universe. So that is why Ramana is saying here that uh, these are the external subjects matter of study in the universe, and therefore one considers them mystical. Why? Why these things? You see today's world, everyone actually maintains towards advancement whatsoever, anywhere. But why is the material? These are material because these are just binding us, they are just pulling us. Prabhupada gives in one for example that the scorpion, the scorpion when they are exported, so they are put in a big bin and the lid is open, and then they are transported. So they are transported, but the lid is open. Why the lid is open? No, in a big container, the scorpion can climb and then can go out. He says, why it is open? He said that as soon as one scorpion starts climbing up, the other one start pulling it back. So again it falls back. So it doesn't go, it can't go out. Even if it tries to go out, it can't go out. That's the mental condition. Even if someone's trying to come up, someone is still there to pull him out. And and that basically enviousness as well. And he said, how can he get it? I have something more, or I try to do something negative to this person, or do something. Right. So the point is that the material because it's actually invoking the enviousness, it's invoking our pride, invoking our lust and desire. That's what is material. It's binding us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do, the what is to them that is spoken in the last verse, it says that the I consider surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu. So what is to be performed and how can we perform it? Though he said it that it's considered, but the performance can be done in the association of the devotee by hearing Krishna Katha, and it also discuss Krishna Katha and Prasadam. Right? By Prasadam, by Krishna Katha can be the more elaborate. That Krishna Katha is a discussion of Krishna and chanting holy name, association of devotees, kirtan, everything comes in Krishna. And there are different ways. We sometimes, we alone for chanting holy name, and we sometimes go in together, the streets for chanting holy name. And then Krishna Katha is discussing about the Lord, and Prasadam. So these are the ways by which one can take the next step. Otherwise, he says, Nama Kevala Kevala, whatever endeavor you make in this material world, it's all going to be this. Krishna explained that in Bhagavad Gita as well, that we have two duties. The duties towards our body. It means as a father, as a countryman, as a family member, everything. You have duties that has to be performed. Because Arjuna wanted to go away. Krishna said, no, you can't go away. Even if you are not perfect, you have to perform it. You can't go away. Otherwise, it is a what is anyway, it is not right. It's not right for you, and you are Shakti. You have to fight the war. It is similar to when we are in Rasta or what ashram we are. We need to make sure that we are not just performing sama. We are not just performing uh, activities which are just going to fulfill our sense that it is nothing else. It's not to become zero. When you see probably example of being zero, having everything as zero, if you put 5 0, there's no sense. But unless you put one in front of it, that becomes 100,000. Without it's just zero. 5 0 or million zero is zero. Unless and one is there. So our activities, our everything, without Krishna, that become Sama Yoni. So we have to understand very clearly that our real identity is to become the attached to the Supreme Person of God. And attachment to the Lord is very difficult. that can only be get by association of people, and by discussing about Krishna, by discussing about how can we advance. Prabhupada says in one of the purport that the instruction of spiritual masters is very, very important. And why? Because the spiritual master is the one who guides us toward the ultimate. It's not about okay, you give something money to me and then I'll do something for you and then you become happy. It's not that. The highest happiness, what we can get in material life, is the ultimate goal to go back to God. Otherwise, it's again binding us to the whole cycle of apartment. That doesn't make no sense. That is why Brahma is saying here that this religion, economic development, and self-gratification, dharma, artha, karma, these are all waste of time. So what do we take? Shall we do everything and go back? No, we have to perform it. We have to perform it in the way that we are attached to Krishna. That we offer everything to Krishna. As that we were discussing in the house program. Isn't it? That whatever we do, we should offer it to Krishna. And whatever we have, we should understand it that it is all by the mercy of Krishna. Understanding that if whatever I am acquiring now is just because of the mercy of Krishna and offer it to him. So take center of me, offer material senses to me, and perform activities. That's all. We are not being advised by our masters to give up anything. And in one of the lecture I heard, I think it's usually Bhakti Maharaj is saying that what can you give up? So the question was that I'm not passionate to the Lord, and how can I give those things by which I can become attached to them? He says, what can you give up? Can you give up breathing? What can you give up? What you have to give? You have nothing to give up. You can't give up anything actually. He says, you can't give up your body itself, which is we know that it's going to take away anyway. So there's no point of giving up. Rather, take it from the Lord. Accept it or give your time and things toward the Lord. That's the more ultimate thing you can do. But just trying to give up something doesn't happen. And even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well that in Bhagavatam we see that attachment to Krishna, we naturally become detached from the Krishna. Look at this example of high taste. Like if someone has a taste for sweet or you can say as a gulab jamun, right? And one day he tries rasgulla, and he says, "Wow, rasgulla is better than gulab jamun." This example, and it can have some tasting as well. So what happens the next time he started eating rasgulla? So rasgulla and gulab jamun both are sweet, but he has three tastes about now gulab jamun. So he got the higher taste. As soon as he got a higher taste, the taste for gulab jamun is decreases. That happens in the material world. So whatever we perform in the material world, we get some taste, some enjoyment is there. No denying that material has no enjoyment. It has enjoyment. But when we get spiritual enjoyment, we get higher pleasure. And as we get a higher pleasure, then we say yes, it is something easier to give up the lower high. Okay? And the real essence of human being or human life is to elevate a step, a step, a step, a step. Like, for example, if you are in your job and when you pass out your university and then go for a job, what happens? And you get a very low skill job, and then you get a very low position as well in the job. What next? After a year or two, you want promotion. You want more salary, you want promotion. You can't be staying on the same training for your whole life. You progress. You want to progress. You get more salary. You get more position. And then after a couple of more years, you want to become higher. and then eventually you want to become manager and then maybe CEO or something like that. Whatever the desire you have. The point the desire goes on and on and on. Then the same thing can be applied for future capital as well. If we are right now, as for example, Nasty, you can try to elevate to a this way, Bhagavad says, no, the 4,000 people they worship me. And this is the book, all four are glorious. It says all four are glorious. Why? Because there are some category of people who don't follow it out. So it's better to follow something. Yeah, because again, I the one who loves me is better, but still, these four are at least higher than that. And then once we are on the stage of communication toward the Lord, and then it can go more higher. Not some, because specific, the question. And it can go more higher. And then the bhakti is so deep, it goes higher and higher and higher and higher ultimately. Ultimately, one is to accept. Nothing higher than that. So now we see the topmost devotees in Uttarakhand. No one is higher than the Lord. But by following the steps given to us by our acharyas, actually we can uh, reduce those pastimes, pastimes of Kala and Krishna, and then become more peace. Right? And we are discussing the other day, like the material and spiritual activity, how they are different. So just for example, on finally most of the people to want to get more involved, to have some enjoyment. They spend the money, they eat, drink something, and then they dance with it. And we devotees we come on Sunday. What do? We also dance here, we also eat here, we also drink here. But the next day, we release it. But the activity done in the pub, the next day, mostly they regret it. Activities if you see, in one sense, both are same. They are also dancing, they are doing things. We also are dancing and eating. But the results are completely changed, completely different. And even the thoughts are different. So what we speak about the results, what we get. That's why this material activity is just binding us against the reality and it's spiritual activity and elevate us. Right? So absence of our work is specific. Yeah, like dharma. So what performs dharma is again dharma says dharma to sakshat bhagavad. So dharma means to take center of the law. Nothing else. So Parmas clearly mentions in the last line. He says, I consider them material. So however I consider surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu is possible. And there is no other way. There is no other way. And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very clearly says, very, very clearly, no change of words, very clear words. He says, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. He walks three times. Why three times? You could have just one time, Hare Rama, why three times? And sometimes we say, I told you three times, still is not listening. Because what the point is, three times becoming more focused or more giving more what is more emphasis that yes, this is the only way, the only way. And that is it. There is no other way, no other way, no other way as of this time. So there is no other way for salvation. And even eventually, the devotees, the more higher the salvation. They just don't just seek liberation. They don't just try to merge with personal Brahman, but they release the past. And CC explains even the devotees, they don't want the liberation as well. Even if it's provided to them, they don't want it. What they want is the service of the Lord, happiness. And I think in previous verse is in the slide here, the purport it says, no, मुक्ति स्वयं मुकुलितांजलि सेवते स्म धर्मार्थ काम गतये स्म प्रतीक्षा. Liberation always stands at the door of a devotee, ready to carry out his call. Very, very important. It says the mukti or liberation always stands at the door of a devotee. They need to carry out. And so just imagine, so it's like playing match, playing cricket, right? If you're playing cricket, then if you're doing a very good batting, it means the run is automatically coming. And also, not only the runs for the team, your record also coming very nicely. In the similar, if you perform bhakti, the liberation is already there. Actually, you have watched it. There is no need to anchor for liberation. There is no need to put any extra endeavor for the liberation. Isn't it? So there is no need at all to go for those, even for for liberation, Sastri Samapriya. Nothing is required. It's already there. There are what to speak about the Brahma. You would anyway don't desire at all. That's why the highest form of devotional service is to get some. And even in the 9 stages, you see the 9 stages of bhakti, this stage of pure devotional service, isn't it? Because the first stage is pure, Shraddha is also pure. But the only point is, there are 2 stages actually. Shraddha is pure, however, the person is not pure yet. That's why he doesn't have complete faith. Okay. But because he got Shraddha, he actually climbing up higher and higher. And one day, the purification happens completely and he goes back to God. And mostly, actually, he exists in the sense of the Lord. Right? And in one of the, and see, if you see our Bhagavatam first verse, second chapter itself, it clearly says, Dharma, faith of Dharma is to be prohibited. Faith of Dharma is what? What faith of Dharma? This is this. I perform some of these activities to get something material. Isn't it? I do some brata to get something good. These are faith of Dharma. Prabhupada says these are cheating relations or uh, negotiating with the Lord. You know, I remember when we are in school days, every time before results comes out, we used to go to the Lord, architect of it, please get a good marks, right? So this is state of Dharma. This is, and anyway, we are trying, we know how to think, but still, the point is, we are trying to negotiate. And negotiating with whom? At least we have the faith, and actually he has some power, he can tell something, you know. But at least we have some thought that, okay, please, I have done very experiment, now please make sure I pass it. It means what we have some faith that he has something he can do, some changes. And gradually that faith becomes more convinced, and then eventually takes a person or to devote it. So, even Bhagavatam, that's why the Bhagavatam, the contains craving of everything is devotional service. And that by which, through which we can go back to God easily. And I'll just conclude here because the Brahma clearly says to this divine experiment that it is not damage and just from right from the childhood or from the devotional service. Anyone have any questions, comments, or discussion?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Very sweet class, very encouraging. Just like speaking of dharma and all, so you mentioned Savai Kumsan Karo Dharma, Yajo Bhakti Roshaje and this thing. So Swarup and Rup are the same things or what? Or is there any difference?
See, okay, so the word might be different, but let's try to I'll try to apply that for my understanding. Uh, a person is a person you don't know him, right? And he comes to you with this casual base, and let's take example somebody can do. Someone is sick, right? Someone is sick, and then you call to your hospital, and then someone came from there, and the person is in a casual dress. And then what do you see? You say, can you please let me a doctor or an assistant, or you just want to take him to the hospital? Last minute. He said, no, I'll clear everything. Don't worry. It means what? The identity of the person is not about the grace. Say, person is same, but the grace thing is different. Right now, he's not dressed as a doctor, not with all his white clothes and things, not already carrying it. He just in a casual dress, he came in and he started doing things. So, what is more important? The point is his casual dress or his knowledge or his degree. What is important? Do you say, okay, no, you don't have a proper medical grades, so you can't be a doctor, right? So who is important here? What's important? The grades or his knowledge?
Knowledge.
His knowledge is certainly different, isn't it? In a similar way, our swarupa is to take care of the law, and that's real identity. Right? So rupa can be different. Rupa, I mean, in my understanding, rupa can be different. The living soul, the soul, if you say rupa as a form, in that way, if you say rupa as a form, the soul can have different forms, forms of animal, forms of tree, forms of human being. But his swarupa, his identity is what? His pure soul. Right? So his identity is to become a servant of the Lord. And depending upon his past karma or whatever it is, he got different kind of spaces. That can be considered as a rupa. But his swarupa, his real identity is always pure and is servant of the Lord. And because he's just wandering in the different spaces of life, he can be uh, misguided or he is in ignorance about his real truth. Is that clarifying?
Thank you, Lord. Another question. So, what can we give up? What can we give up? What strength have we got say to give up? And how do we understand Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, so he's saying give up all things of religion, all this, get our dharma. So, what can we give up? Should we give up anything? Is there anything to give up?
Practically, we are so attached that it's very difficult to give up. Unless and until we become attached to something like it's not very easy to give up anything in this world. Like, if we lose some pounds, we get so much of stress. I think we discussing the other day, you got a new car, brand new car, but you don't know. Someone comes and scratches it, and then you saw the scratch. It looks like someone scratched the car itself, isn't it? We're so attached. We know very well this is just material. I mean, we don't actually practically, but we are so attached that it becomes very, very difficult to see the pain. Oh my goodness, I just bought a new car and someone scratched it. So what can we give up? The mentality of give up can only comes when we become attached to God. So when we become attached, that give up thing becomes automatic action. We don't have to give up anything. Really. We don't have to give up anything. It becomes naturally by its accord. You can say by accord, by performing devotional service, that as a byproduct, we become detached to this material thing because we are getting attached to this. Does that make sense?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. On this line, just a quick question. So, living in this, material world, how can we taste that spiritual bliss? How can we taste that high taste?
Yeah, that's why we need to follow our shastras, sadhus. So we need to follow our footsteps of our acharyas. Because, as we said in Bhagavad Gita as well, तब विधि परिपाकेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवन उपलक्षिते ज्ञान ज्ञानी तत्वतः दर्शिनः. Because this our acharyas, they have understood it, they have realized it. So they can give to us. Otherwise, it's not possible for us. So we need to take care of them, do service, and then require submissive. The submissive word is very important in this verse because when we are not submissive, we just inquire to fulfill our argumentative questions. So by serving spiritual masters or Vaishnavas submissively and following what they are asking us to perform, you can get. There's a nice song. Krishna the Saman, what was it? Krishna te tomara, Krishna ji te para, tomara sathya. So Vaishnavas, Krishna is Vaishnavas, Dasa is, isn't it? Krishna is of them. And Krishna ji te para, you can give Krishna. Tomara sathya. You have this power to give Krishna. So if someone has power to give Krishna, and if you go somewhere else, get Krishna, it's not possible. You have to go who can give us. Like if you go to a bank, outstanding in her account, please give me, do not ask me. If you go on to your good friend, who you know he has a 1,000 account, but it's okay, and fulfill your whatever you need is. So we need to very much understand that where we need to ask and what to ask. There's a nice example, earlier we explained that one person he came to the Lord and he says, "Oh Lord, please make sure that in next time no one asks anything from me. No, I've become tired of giving. And the one person he came to the Lord and he says, "Oh Lord, please make sure that next time no one goes and hears from me. I don't care what I am, but no one goes and hears from me." You know what happened? The first person who was rich, because I was coming to him and asking money. Next time he became better. No one asking any more to him. And this person, he was poor, not bigger, but he was poor. He says, "Oh Lord, because I've struggled a lot, maybe next life no one goes and hear from me and he becomes a king. And no, he's hearing everyone." So very careful what you ask, like, at least to God. And then as I say, no, Vaishnava, they can give Krishna. No one else can. Even Krishna can give bhakti, they say in the set. So the devotee only can give bhakti. So very careful to ask Vaishnavas, and they will give it. And that's the way to understand. Because in this material body, it's very difficult to get a spiritual thing. And just imagine, just by making center of acharyas, the ultimate thing you can get in material life is spiritual bliss. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you so much, Babu.
Srimad Bhagvatam ki
Jai.
Vaishnava ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
His Grace Baleshwara Prabhu ki
Yeah.